we were talking about the very, very undeserved positive coverage that this cult got in the early 2000s, right? They were not popular in the early 2000s. They were not seeing people walk in. There was barely any attendance. It was not a big deal at all, right? And then New York Times did a full profile in 2009. And as usual, New York Times kind of continues to contribute to really terrible things ongoing in the world. I don't know what the fuck is going on with them. But that was the case with early 2000s as well. And they did this full profile, and the article was titled The Pleasure Principle. This is what skyrocketed One Taste to success. And it talked about One Taste as if just because it was in San Francisco, it was the most obvious thing ever. It didn't challenge much. It had a part where it was like, I will get to that, where it was mentioning, the article was mentioning this sounds cultish and everything, and there are accusations. Oh, fully forgot that word. There are accusations against them for being a cult. Nothing, no critical thinking was then applied. It was just taken as is, and there was fully just positive coverage. And this article actually changed the whole thing for One Taste. So I'm going to quote certain parts from the article. It says, One Taste is but the latest stop on this sexual underground, weaving together strands of radical individual freedom, Eastern spirituality, and feminism. The notion of a San Francisco sex commune focused on female orgasm is part of a long and rich history of women being public and empowered about their sexuality, said Elizabeth A. Armstrong, an associate professor of sociology at Indiana University, who has studied San Francisco's sexual subcultures. Even in 2009, there was some discussion of it being cult-like, but they brushed right past it, like I mentioned, right? So it says, as with many a commune before it, the leader of One Taste, Ms. Daydon, a polarizing personality whom admirers venerate as a sex diva, although some former members say she has cult-like powers over her followers. They say she sometimes strongly suggested who should pair off with whom romantically. There was always a pushing of people's boundaries, says Judy Silber, who lived at One Taste for 3.5 years and left last fall. We all knew it was a hardcore place and we came to play hard. I have a problem with the narrative of this being feminist, right? Feminism has, in terms of sexuality, has always been taking control of your sexuality. It has not been
Mhm.
taking control of your sexuality from one person and giving it up to another person. I mean, I don't know what Elizabeth A. Armstrong, who was fucking teaching sociology at a university, why, she thought that giving up control was being empowered. That's a wild fucking thing to assume. And it really pissed me off that a professor was saying this, because that also meant that there was influence on really young people
Mhm.
who don't know how to, their brains are not yet fully developed to make cognitive, well decided, like they're still making impulsive decisions. And people who can influence them, their professors, are saying shit like this. It really fucking pissed me off, right? So this article, I strongly recommend reading it, because oh my God, full of snafus. Like the amount New York Times praised One Taste. I don't want to get into it because it's very annoying, but I do recommend reading it. Right. And by this time, Nicole Daydon was also doing what a lot of up and coming famous people do. Right. She published her first book, Slow Sex, in 2012, and since then published a bunch others, even after the case was filed against her. Right.
Was it New York Times bestseller?
I did not I did not look up the book, but I will not be surprised if it is. Okay. And as you might have guessed, like slow sex basically draws parallels between slow sex and the slow food movement. Of course, I haven't read this fuck all woman's book, but from what I know, slow food movement is about sourcing food that is grown locally and sustainably. And I don't think it's very easy to have sex which is not local. So I genuinely don't know what the fuck she means by slow sex. And she has been, by the way, featured in like a bunch of other quack things. Have you all heard of the 4 hour body? The 4 day work week, 4 hour body, all of this is, it's basically, there's this person, I like fully another scam artist who promotes 4 week workday, which I like, but he promotes it as the solution to everything, which is a wild fucking thing to do. And then he also wrote a book called The 4 Hour Body, which is basically how you can build a good body by working out 4 hours a week, which does seem like what people do anyway. That is 3 to 4 days of working out in a gym that a week. That's normal working out, right? So he also in his book talked about her, like she got a lot of shady people supporting her, right? And she got quite far in life by bullshitting, right? She also gave a TEDx talk in 2011 called Orgasm, the Cure for Hunger. She basically talks about how women have, they are doing so many things today. They are taking control of a bunch of things in her life, but they are still hungry, and that hunger can be solved, it can be quenched, whatever it is, by orgasming. And I agree that orgasming is a wonderful thing. It is amazing. It doesn't fucking need a whole organization around it. Like it, it's not that difficult, friend. Like just find better partners. What I feel like this woman had
Or a
terrible
washing
partners.
machine.
Washing machine does nothing. Vibrators, vibrators, women, ladies, please choose good vibrators. There are so many options. I feel like Dedon just never had good sex, and when she did, it blew her mind. So anyway, right now, also as all things
I'm
just
telling you why
slightly,
she
Oh,
never
she.
had good sex was because she just kept rubbing the fucking upper left quadrant. If she had just rubbed the whole fucking thing, she would have had a better experience.
now as all things just slightly or completely off, Dead On and One Taste was also endorsed by, I want you to guess this. Think of
Donald Trump.
think of the no, think of a woman who's going to endorse a woman from US who's going to endorse the most voodoo and most new age fuckery.
I
It's
mean, there
right
are
there.
way too many to name. Ellen DeGeneres, Oprah,
Gwyneth
whoever.
Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow. Okay, fine.
Oh.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I found her podcast, so Goop podcast, interviewed Dedon in 2018. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And she was also one of the panelists in Paltrow's event called In Goop Health. Just fucking wild universe out there. My God, I don't know what they are doing. Right. But what I found interesting was that One Taste was actually exposed as a cult because of an investigation by Bloomberg journalist that I mentioned, Ellen Huet, right? The
Mm-hmm.
one who also wrote the book Empire of Orgasm. And this expose was in June 2018. And Paltrow's interview of Dedon in her podcast was released in December 2018. So it speaks like volumes about the
Mm-hmm.
amount of research that went into this episode, right? Like just within 6 months of it being exposed as a cult, you put out an episode fully praising her, interviewing her. Wild, just. And the episode is full of just pseudoscience, absolute nonsense. She says shit like, in the 6th minute, you reach the stroker and the strokee both reach the same amount of pleasure.